What's your take on networking at trade shows?
You know, I always tell brands that we work with to network for sure, right? You don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, I got to get back to the hotel and follow up on my leads all the time. You should be following up on your leads right away. But I think there's a fine line between being a square and isolating yourself and being able to actually go out and socialize and be able to have fun. So, the rule of thumb is don't get smashed and don't show up to the next day of the show. Nobody wants to be hungover at the trade show and working the entire show, smelling like booze or being, spending half the day in the bathroom because, your stomach's upset because the tequila and the, taco, whatever Mexican food you had for the first time ever in a new city isn't sitting well, right? That's just a missed opportunity and that's just letting down your team and ultimately your opportunities. But there should be a need to have to go out and actually make deals. A lot of the deals are made at the bar. A lot of the deals are made in those moments where you get folks to open up and tell you why they're not buying from you or why they bought from a competitor or what they're looking for in a deal. And it may just be that you learn that there's a pricing issue, or that you may have learned that there was somebody didn't, deliver something and it upset somebody, and that's why they haven't bought in a couple of years, or whatever those nuances are. I think it's important to be out there in a reasonable way. And as long as you know how to let the gloves come off and let go without going off the deep end, I'm 100% big fan of networking and partying, quote unquote, and being out and socializing during trade shows and events. Do you go out to trade shows? I mean, you're the CMO of a company. Are you out there networking? Are you out there, doing, tequila shots with folks? Or are you out there like, hey, it's 10 o'clock, I gotta get after dinner, I gotta call it?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of both. I think it depends on what team we came with. Because if you tag team those after hours versus like I'm going out, if you want to stay home, like send out emails or whatever, or the whole team goes out, right? You're doing a team building thing. I think it really depends on like what we're going there for. What is the purpose of this show? Who are the different team members who are going? Like, is it worth for you to go to the networking event and I take a client out, right? We can't do both at the same time sometimes. Like, what is that team you're going with, and how do you maximize the exposure you get within like a 24, 48 hours that you're at this show?
Yeah, some brands I've seen that we've worked with have also used this strategy where they come in a day or two early to the show, right? So if you're doing a show, let's say in Germany, and you're going to fly into Frankfurt, you buffer in an extra day to obviously to adjust for jet lag, but use that day as the the day before the setup day, and that's the day the team gets to go out. Everyone's excited. You're in the new city, new country, whatever, for the first time together, and use that day to go, just be unhinged and have whatever, all the shots and beers and whatever you want, and as a team building thing, and allow everyone to bond. I think it's important for the leadership at that point to kind of try to squeeze in those like, hey guys, so this is what we should be really focused on this trip, or this is what we should be really, the narrative or the tonality or the whatever, the item we should be pushing the most or really focusing on in terms of what we want to sell or drive through or make everyone aware of. So those are cool moments and opportunities. Or do it on the back end, buffer in an extra day after the show. A lot of times people just want to get home and follow up with leads, or they're just exhausted, or get back to their family, or they have so much time away that they're like, okay, it's time to go home. So it's hard to do it on the back end, I feel like. But I've seen a lot of brands that just squeeze in that one extra day or two of a trip, quote unquote, especially if you bring a spouse or maybe it's just a couple of executives from the firm or the company that want to go and blow off some steam at a neighboring city. If you're in Frankfurt, hey, let's go to Berlin and hit a club or hit a nice restaurant. Or if we're in whatever, Guadalajara, let's go to Mexico City and hit some Michelin restaurants or whatever it is that helps you blow off steam and unwind a little bit. I think it's important to squeeze that in as a team. You're talking about team building. I've heard you guys did some what do you call it? Escape rooms and stuff like that. Those are great. Those are all things that I think every brand should be doing internally. It's those other like partying in the middle of the show that sucks, because you've got folks on the team that show up smelling like scotch or booze, and that just sucks. You're like, oh, you look like shit. You look like you're haggard. You look like you've been out since till 2 a.m. last night, and now you're trying to work the booth, and you don't look well. You look like you're just tired. You don't want to be here. There's jet lag. There's the booze. There's the the diarrhea. There's all these factors that you're dealing with. So I think staying sharp during the show. And there's a fine line between that and like networking and being, out and trying to make deals. So
yeah, you got to know yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a fine line between being the fun guy at a trade show or a party and being the story that comes out of it. You don't want to be the guy, hey, did you hear what so-and-so did?
No.
You do not want to be that person.
Nope.
Just know what your limitations are. Jet lag also plays a role in all that. You just got to,
It depends which guy you are too in the group, right? Or where you are in your career and how much you're willing to. There's young, fresh guys that come in and they just want to let loose, and there's older guys that are seasoned and they're like, hey, my job's on the line. So
I agree.
I'm with it.